Hello and welcome to the third session of Energy Tech Challengers 2023 Finals. My name is Katarzyna Krupa and I'm pleased to be your host today. For those of you who join us for the first time, let me remind you that Energy Tech Challengers is a global pitch competition that brings the most groundbreaking companies in the industry on one stage. Earlier this year, we received 400 startup applications from 25 countries, but only 50 of them made it to finals. So, wondering who will become the next ultimate challenger of 2023? We're about to hear about it soon, but first, let's kick off with the next track and discover the most innovative companies pioneering the future of batteries. So, battery value chain. For the beginning, I would like you to meet the members of the jury. I have a very short list of international names, so I hope I will spell everything correctly. Please welcome Hans Kuhl, Investment Director at Eneco Ventures, Nicholas Yu, Co-founder at Intersalation, Dr. Michael Richter, Senior Investment Managing at EWE, Natasha Morgan, Senior Commercial Manager at Lunar Energy, Dafar Shaban, Key Account Manager, Energy and Utilities at Scale Focus, Dr. Till Stenzel, Venture Partner at SET Ventures, João Marques Philippe, Associate at EDP Ventures, Preet Lapasep, Founder and CEO at Sunly, Łukasz Skarka, okay, that was easy one, Investment Director at EIT Inno Energy, Cynthia Shaw, Challenge Manager at NATO Defense, Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic, Maciej Leichman, Investment Analyst at Future Energy Ventures, Eva Harasewicz, Venture Associate at Siemens Energy Ventures, Miguel Brandao, Product Manager VPP at Cleanwoods, Anna Kudrnova, Innovation Scouting and Partnership Lead at BP, Sean Dana, CEO at Ignite the Spark, Atip Tantivoravong, Chief Executive Officer at InnoPower, Aliet Elstein, SVP Global Strategy at IMIA, Operations at Lakeside, Software, Matt Neal, Global Energy Resources and Incubator Lead at Endava, Maja Krystowska, Development Consultant at Endava, Fredrika Svanholm, Senior Associate at Verdane, Eshel Lipman, Venture Partner at Extensia, Orin Legris, Innovation Scout, Early Stage Startups at Honda Innovations, Wolfgang Heiler, Senior Director, Strategic Accounts, Cortinex. Now everything will go perfectly. Welcome. Okay, now I would like to repeat the rules. Each company will have exactly 3 minutes for their presentation. After the time, the jury will have 2 more minutes to ask questions. Only 2 minutes, so I kindly ask the members of jury to ask the questions very briefly because we don't stop the time during your questions. Only 5 minutes on stage, but I believe everybody is prepared for that. So I hope you're ready to start and to listen the first startup. Please welcome on stage Antoine Velter, CEO, co-founder and CEO, Circu Lyon. If I spell it wrongly, correct me. Hello, you have 3 minutes, so your 3 minutes starts now. Good luck.
I think this is working, or?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, good, perfect.
It's working.
So, very impressive jury, never pitched in front of such a big jury. So what we do at Circu Lyon is we maximize the value of batteries. So as we all know, when you look around, our whole economy is being electrified. However, as my co-founder Xavier says, we're always good at solving one problem at a time, humankind is. And that's why we still have significant problems when it comes to the supply of new batteries, not only the materials needed, also social environmental challenges, how these materials are being mined, and how CO2, how much CO2 is produced when these battery cells are actually being produced. So what does the recycling industry do today? It destroys value times 15, so from a battery pack to the black mass, or the material that really is inside, meaning the impact, we have very low recovery rates on the raw materials. It's a very energy intensive process, as well as we destroy materials that can actually still be used. How do we solve that? So we're the enabler to clean up and recycling, meaning we automatically dismantle these batteries, provide clean recycling streams to recyclers of cells, metals, and plastics. On the other hand, reuse electronics and the cells that are still able to reuse in a second life storage. How do we do that? Obviously, software can't solve or save the planet, so we merged the two. We built a hardware foundation. We made it smart through data, now building up the biggest library to dismantle battery packs. We built diagnostic software, and across the whole process, we collect data that are interesting to a lot of players in the whole battery value chain. The main profit driver of our business is obviously the cells that we can reuse. The nice part from a business perspective is that we can see a battery multiple times, so after its first use, second use, so we see each battery a few times. How do we roll this out? Obviously, as most of you know, in the battery space, logistics is still a big problem, so we need to be very decentralized. We've built up an R&D center in our home Luxembourg. We built a first facility in Germany. We will continue to roll this hub model out, but also complete it with a lot of spokes so that we can significantly reduce the amount of logistics needed in this space. This has also attracted already quite a few big names, not only the old industry, but also new car industry has joined our journey, and it's also a geopolitical emphasis on this topic, hence our granting the EIC funding end of last year. We also tend to work closely with academics and actually bring all of the good stuff we do in Europe in universities and bring them to market. That's why we've collected a team of world-class scientists, but also collaborate closely with different institutes. So happy to talk batteries.
We added a few more seconds because of the beginning, but you didn't need it at all.
No.
So now is the time for jury to ask questions. Please do not hesitate.
Please go.
Great pitch, thank you very much. My name is Hans Kool in Eco Ventures. I'm curious, what is your USP? So what is your special sauce if you compare it with like Umicore or those sort of companies?
Yeah, so it's one part is we don't do recycling. What Umicore and Co does is recycling. What we actually create is a whole new category of upcycling and recycling, so the pre-treatment of recycling. So if you look at first use and here's recycling, we're building up a new category in the beginning that wasn't used a few years ago when there was no need for such huge amounts of batteries. And in terms of technology, maybe to complement that, on the hardware we patented what we think can be protected, and the rest is all the secret sauce in the software.
There is another question in the second row. Oh, here.
Yeah, quick question on the disassembly. Mm-hmm. How do you automate that? Is there a secret sauce behind the black box?
Well, not that secret. There's a lot of hard work to get there. And so we combine, as I mentioned, some hardware foundation, which we then make smart with software, a lot of computer vision, and really making sure that we can make a secure and fast dismantling of these batteries.
Quick one, Esha Lipman from Extantia Capital. You mentioned that you track the batteries and also test their state of health. How can you do that without building a huge cycler's facility, which is very space intensive?
Yeah, great question. They will be published in a scientific paper end of this quarter. We do it exactly. So it's deep academics that we did, and we built the whole diagnostic software behind that to diagnose each single cell level.
Thank you.
We still have 30 seconds. There's a question. Yeah. We have time for a quick one.
Thanks for your pitch. Question on which batteries, like, are you trying to recycle?
Great question. I was waiting for it. So we started off with micromobility, then we added power tools to our battery set, then now we're adding EVs. So this is what I talked about, the battery library for dismantling. We constantly add new batteries to our portfolio.
Thank you.
One more?
Yeah. I believe we are running out of time, so sorry for that.
Oh,
my
okay.
apologies. But give a big applause to Antoine Walter. Thank you for your presentation. Yeah, my role is to keep the time, so my sincere apologies for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll still have 7 participants to hear, so now is a time for the second one. Please give a warm welcome to Udi Dawn, representing Dana Resolutions. He's a CEO of the company. Please do not hesitate to correct me if I spell your name or the company wrong. Hello.
Clark said that technology advanced enough is indistinguishable from magic. I swear that everything that I say here not only is true, I have the harder to prove it. So, my name is Udi Daon, and the company name is Dana. Common mistake, we have too many A's. That speaks about the team. Diving into the problem, Tesla puts Netflix in the vehicle so you can wait while it's charging. The whole concept is just weird to me. And they don't want you to run in the rain and basically have the connector not fit. The whole idea about having batteries service the grid is a good one, but now you have to duplicate all those complex inverters and converters on the walls and inside the car and duplicate that system in order to give it back to the grid. Given the fact that you need to wait for it and run in the rain, probably people are not going to do that. There is no really ROI for anyone. Seemingly unrelated, the weak part about battery management system is that they manage the problem, they don't solve it. The problem is that cells are individuals. They need to put a lot of them together to work and get the power that you need. And because of that, the weakest link wins. We eliminate all of that with a chip. You see a picture of something that we already taped out. That's one form factor. It can exist as a PCB. And it's very capable. And to eliminate the wires, the connectors, the inverters, and converters, all with a single component. Going from left to right, we take AC or DC, transfer it through one or multiple chips, through air, water, glass, plastic, concrete, glass, any combination thereof, to collect it on the other side and provide AC or DC on demand. If that wasn't enough, we can do it in reverse. The whole system is completely bidirectional, and the way to do it is with an embedded data layer that sends the command and data about it with our system. What does it mean? It means that we can eliminate the BMS altogether. Take a battery, put our chip on it, put as many of them you want in a box facing that way, and get AC or DC on demand variably as you need it. What does it also mean? That you can charge a vehicle. When it's stationary, it doesn't matter if you park sideways, if my son parks it the other way around, or you can charge the vehicle while it's moving, and because the whole system is bidirectional. And by the way, we can use the chassis as part of the antenna. It's completely bidirectional. Now we can contribute to the grid without having to rely on Netflix for it. The system was invented by quite smart people that graduated out of UBC. We raised the fund, we raised the Series A not long ago, and there's going to be a new series coming up in the Q3 probably, or Q4, to basically finalize the commercialization. Everything that I just said is now introduced into the solar domain, where we do the same function to eliminate the inverters and the converters from the supply chain altogether. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Now it's the time for the jury. Are there any questions you would like to ask?
Not magic,
Yep.
I swear.
Hi, thank you for your presentation, João from EDP Ventures. As far as you know, what sort of competition do you have?
From a technology perspective, all of the patent search came back as novel and inventive and industrial. So we haven't found something that does what we do, right? Commercially, we're dealing with reality, right? We're dealing with what the entrenched knowledge is. And every time I introduce this concept, there's like, but I don't believe it. So we need to prove that. So that's the competition.
And do you have any like OEM customers already that have the hardware piece embedded to their product, or?
I can neither confirm nor deny on a public stage what is covered by an NDA. Yeah.
Can you tell us more about the efficiency of your device? So what is the sort of throughput, and how can it be functioning in the EV space there?
So end-to-end, and I'm talking about chemistry to grid tie, it's between 90 and 95%, depends on the use case, right? And completely bidirectional. So again, from chemistry all the way to grid tie. Charging a vehicle is typically between 92 and 95%. This is the range that we're looking at.
Hi, I'm Atip from InnoPower, Thailand. Wondering what are the current bottlenecks that you have before commercialization, and what is the key milestone that your startup have?
Wonderful question. The key element is identifying the problem and the specifications as required by the customers. So we need to make sure that we solve for those and not just demonstrate a cool technology. Right? So we design for manufacturing, which is what we're currently doing on the solar domain.
Thank you.
I'm out of time.
Yeah, we are running out of time. Thank you very much for the presentation and for answering the questions. Now it's the time for the third participant representing Entrix. He's a founder and CEO of the company. Please welcome Stefan Schulzchen. Good luck.
Hi, pleasure to be here. I will talk about the flexibility challenge, so during the use phase kind of the battery. Why do we have to talk about the flexibility challenge? Because until 2050, 85% of the power that we will be generating comes from renewable energy sources. And whilst that is great from a decarbonization perspective, it is very difficult for the energy system as a whole, because that means that supply and demand will not necessarily match anymore, but it always has to match, right? Therefore, we have to bring flexibility into the system, and even more importantly, we have to make sure that we manage the flexibility as intelligently as we possibly can. And that's where we come in with Entrix. What we do is that we are offering an AI-based trading solution for flexible energy assets, starting with batteries, which in itself is a $1.2 trillion market until 2050. AI-based trading, what does that mean? What we eventually do is that we use algorithms to make sure that we stack the revenue streams that batteries can tap into in the best possible way. Yeah, we make sure that we shift energy between different periods of time in the best possible fashion, and that we also dispatch batteries into the ancillary services markets where they can help stabilizing the grid. We integrate directly with the hardware, so we can dispatch the assets, we take care of the battery degradation, and on the other side of the value chain, we are a trading participant on the energy market, so we can do the entire trading ourselves. Our customers are the asset owners and the project developers, and the business model is actually quite simple. We are simply paid based on how well we perform on the energy market, so we take a commission based on the trading returns that we generate. We started all of this in 2021. Our quest is to make sure that every megawatt hour or every megawatt is managed as intelligently as possible. I'm actually quite proud of the fact that we managed to get full market access in a heavily regulated market in 2 countries, Germany and Great Britain, within less than a year. We took the first battery live end of last year, so right now it's doing something despite the fact that we don't have a trading desk. Yeah, so all of this is working fully automated. This year the focus is on going live in Great Britain as well. We secured seed funding, and we'll obviously work on making sure that we penetrate those markets that we are active in, and we are also working very actively on going into new use cases, because standalone battery storage is obviously just the starting point for all of this. We're a team of 25 people based in Munich, almost everyone working on site, which I personally enjoy a lot. And it's also a very diverse team, so we have a very diverse set of nationalities and educational backgrounds in the team, which is great fun, and time is up. Thank you very much.
You still have 10 seconds. Thank you very much for the presentations. Judges, now it's time for your questions.
Thanks a lot for your presentation. How would you say that you compare to other types of companies providing trading services or VPPs and other ancillary services? And what would you say is your key selling point there?
Yeah, so maybe compared to the old-fashioned energy trading, I think the key thing is that it's about flexibility, so I can shift between time, and that makes the market of players who actually offer this much smaller. If you only look at those players who actually offer flexibility, I think it's mostly about the quality of the solution, about the breadth of value streams that we look into. So we really cover all the different value streams. We don't only focus on, they're all somewhat complicated, but we don't only focus on the easy ones in the sense of let's not look into ancillary services because that's too tedious from a regulatory perspective. We have to cover all of them. And then I think, especially right now, a great value also comes from looking into asset portfolios and really working closely with the asset owners to understand what they can do also beyond this one single battery side, but rather looking into, hey, what can I also tap, what kind of value can I also leverage from my renewable portfolio, for example, combined with the flexibility.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, Natasha from Luna. Quick question. You mentioned expanding into different use cases. What does that look like?
So the first one is the one that I just kind of touched upon. So we are right now working with standalone assets. The next one that is very logical is looking at co-located sites. So you combine batteries with renewable generation. We are very actively looking into virtual power plants. So working with smaller assets that are then aggregated up. And in the end, the opportunities are endless. You can work with electrolyzers. You can work with vehicle-to-grid applications. You can work with microgrids. We need the same principles everywhere, kind of.
Hi, Marco. You said you'll be on the different markets, but how you guarantee that you won't lose in this money what you have earned in this disbalance?
Yeah, good question. I can give you the more elaborate answer later, but in the end, the algorithm is set up in a way that we cannot make money because we're always locking in positive returns. And that's the beauty of a flexible asset. Markets cannot move against you because we are always trading within the physical limits of what the battery could deliver.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I need to interrupt right here. Stefan Schulzen from Entrix. Now it's time for the fourth participant, co-founder and CEO of Evion. Please welcome Jürgen Erdel. Good luck.
Hi everyone, my name is Jürgen Erdal. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Evion, and I'm to tell you how we are working to maximize the value of every battery. So the amount of scrapped EV battery volumes are exploding, and McKinsey have estimated the volumes to reach more than 200 gigawatt hours a year in 2030. That's equivalent of 3 million vehicles being discarded every year that can be used to enable more renewable energy in the grid. And if we also include commercial vehicles, marine applications, the numbers are many, many times larger. And the real trouble with that is that at least 1 out of 3 of these batteries are fully functional, with more than 80% remaining capacity that can live on for more than 10 years in a second life application if we know how to identify them and how to maximize their life in a second life. And that is exactly where Evion come in. By developing an integrated software and hardware platform, we seek to make repurposing both scalable and profitable by being able to identify what batteries to reuse, and then using the intelligence in our battery cloud, and then to continuously learn using our intelligent battery control unit. And I'll get more to that in a second. Through this design, we can then flexibly shift to new battery modules as they become available. Today, we have an agreement with Mercedes-Benz Energy. We've been working with 2 of their different battery modules so far, and we're in constant dialogue with a range of other OEMs as well to increase in the future. So what makes Evion truly unique is that we are building an end-to-end digital capability in not only operating the batteries or characterizing them, but through characterization, either physically or digitally, understanding what batteries to repurpose, matching similar batteries into one stack, and then operating them in a way so that we maximize their lifetime, performance, and safety. And all of that is then built into our battery cloud solution. So to summarize, I think we've come quite a far way in just 2.5 years as a company. We have now our first product ready for mass production by the end of the year, with 18 pilots already out in the field, gathering data and learning. We signed one of the biggest sourcing contracts for second-life batteries with Mercedes-Benz last year for more than 26 megawatt hours. We have built an all-star team of close to 30 people from more than 16 nationalities, from hardware, software, data analytics, and more. And we're building now one of the leading battery intelligence capabilities, I would say, in the world, specifically for second life. And we've raised now 10 million euros in venture capital funding from international VCs and been awarded more than 1 million euro in soft funding. So, thank you all.
Thank you very much. I see that there's a first question and a second row.
Thanks, Jürgen, for a good presentation. So my question is, how do you think around feedstock and making sure that you actually have access to the batteries? And what are you doing right now to make sure that you have access to the batteries besides the Mercedes-Benz contracts?
Yeah, so very good question. If you don't have access to batteries, you don't have a business in Second Life. So today we're working directly with the OEMs, and Mercedes-Benz is what we have announced so far, and we're working with multiple others and also to establish more legs to stand on, basically. We're also in discussions with recyclers and other reverse logistics players, but currently today we don't see the volumes large enough with those kind of players yet, and that is why we're talking directly and working directly with the OEMs so far.
Thanks.
Question on the timelines that you're looking at, because my understanding is that EV batteries last quite a long time and perhaps even longer than initially expected. What does that mean for like commercialization timelines for your business and that being, you know, really at scale?
Yeah, also a very good question. And one of the things we had to prove when we started this business was, do we get access to sufficient amount of batteries? And right now, with the contract that we have signed, I think we got to prove that the volumes are there. Some of that is Second Life, some of that is kind of excess batteries that come back from early retirement as well. So as the OEMs are breaking in new production lines, they also have oversupply, early mistakes and kind of breaking in the line, which makes us able to scale on that volume and piggyback on their volumes. So I think in the future we will see these kind of hybrid models where you have a synergy with the OEMs to make their also supply chains add up.
Hi, so what's your go-to-market strategy for once you have the batteries at commercial scale?
So we are currently selling through system integrators and companies that can then take our DC batteries and integrate into their solutions. So we're not going straight to end customers. So that's our preferred go-to-market strategy. We're also selling directly to end customers, and we're experimenting with different models on how to do that. So happy to talk to anyone who is buying and selling battery energy storage systems. Come talk to me later.
And how do you intend to set up mass production?
We are already starting off with a contract manufacturer. So that is already being onboarded and started now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jürgen, for the presentation and answering the question, of course. Big applause. Jürgen Erdal. We are right in the middle of a session. Now, please welcome Mindaugas Lubis, COO, Ion Software. Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mindaugas. I am the co-founder and COO of Ion Software. The company was founded in 2019, and from that day, we are operating in renewable business. We are the developers of the IoT platform, which is mainly used for solar monitoring and battery control. As Ion, we see that the end users are losing money because the batteries are not smartly controlled. So the payback time for the battery for the end user is up to 50 years on our calculations. And we have a solution for that. Our system, our platform is predicting the energy consumption, also predicting the solar generation. We have market price tariff integration of Nord Pool and other price markets. And the algorithm is calculating the system for the best performance. So we think and we believe that we can shorten the payback time around 5 times, so from 50 to 10 years. If we add the balancing function, then we can shorten the time to 5 to 6 years. And in some countries like Lithuania, we have incentives or grants that help investing up to 90% of the investment into batteries. There's a glimpse of our platform. We have grid energy from the grid, we have solar generation, and we have battery control. So the algorithm, smart algorithm, is calculating when and how to use the battery for the best result. Today, we have built the sales strategy to reach the end users through resellers and partners, such as battery manufacturers, battery solution providers, hybrid inverter manufacturers, and installers. We have finished last year with 420,000 euros in revenue, which is around 3 times more than in 2021. And we are planning to finish this year at around 1 million. The success of the company is because of the people behind it. So we are 3 company founders and 15 persons in total. We have experience in sales, software, hardware development, and other areas. And also we have Contrarian Ventures, 70 Ventures, and 3 business angels as our investors, so with experience from their specific fields. So thank you, and let's make the most of our green energy.
Thank you. Judges, now it's time for you, if you have any questions. Yep, there is one.
First of all, thank you. Great presentation. Really interesting take on the market. Curious who you see as your main competitors in the space.
Main competitors. We see a small number of main competitors because we think that there are companies that play with the market prices and control the batteries on the tariffs. But we don't see competitors which take into account the prediction on your consumption, the prediction on your generation, whether it's solar or wind even. Yeah, so maybe these are the benefits that we have and others we see not.
Hi, João from EDP Ventures. Your algorithm is only as good as the value it provides for your customers. So what sort of customers are you onboarding? And what's sort of your target going into the future?
Today we have started onboarding the end users, homeowners with the batteries through the partners. We have the first batch of solutions delivered through Lithuanian battery manufacturer. So we are still waiting for the installations to be done. And later on, we will be targeting also trading companies, energy trading companies, and also aggregators which aggregate, let's say, end users or small batteries into pools and do the balancing or demand response.
Great presentation, great team, great board. So about aggregators and collaborating with them, how can you really make sure that you are compatible with the requirements and answering to every different market separately?
Honestly, we are working on that. So yes, we know that every single market is, almost every single market is different. So we are getting ready for that.
Thank you. I believe we have no time left for the questions. Thank you very much for your presentation. Mindaugas Lubis. Now, please welcome the co-founder and CEO of Lepo, Raf Remidan.
Hi everyone, I'm Raul from Control Energy. The fastest growing segment in our industry knows 2 challenges. First, the dominance of an old and obsolete technology that owns 60% of the market because the batteries are cheaper than lithium alternatives. And speaking of lithium, only 5% of the batteries are actually recycled because the process is too complex and time-consuming to be actually financially viable. That's why we created Lepo. So Lepo is a fully modular, wire-free, smart, reusable battery made of recycled materials. With Lepo, you don't throw your battery anymore at the end of the life cycle. You simply open it, remove the defective cells, put in new cells, and voila, you're good for a new cycle. Lepo is also backed by strong technology. We have a unique matrix design that helps you to build battery packs that are extremely scalable with a zero failure at a light speed rate, some minutes to build multi-tens of kilowatt per hour packs. We also have an advanced BMS that detects the defective cells and check the health of each cell, is chemistry agnostic, lithium, sodium, you name it, and recompose the matrix in real time, changing the tension and the capacity according to your need. The experience for the user is smooth and happens in-app, from buying, installing, managing, changing the cells, and recycling the cells. And the advantage is certain: 30% size and weight, 190 kilos of CO2 saved every time you use these 300 grams rather than a regular battery, 75% saved on the price of the battery, and 30% minimum on the energy consumption. Our first product is the LipoDex, which is a decentralized energy storage and optimization system. Store the energy when it's cheaper, off-grid or off-peak hour. Supply energy natively through its output. Say goodbye to your chargers and energy stripes. Our next product later this next year will be the LipoPixel that will make everybody jealous around you. Today, we plan our go-to-market for Q4 of this year. We have a pre-industrial version, 2 patents in France and the US, 3 ongoing pilots with utilities and end users in B2B, 7 in our pipeline. And this is us. 2 guys, 17 years of experience, 1 exit in 2019, bootstrapped, built the technology in-house, and we are currently fundraising and secured 30% of the round. So if you want to join us to disrupt the energy storage market, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions you would like to ask? Yes, there is one.
Thanks a lot. So just one clarification question. What do you actually do with the cells that are used, that you change?
Well, currently we are discussing with different recycling companies, and every time we pitch the project, they say yes. Nobody said no.
Who is changing these batteries? Is it you, or is it the customer, or is it you at a separate site? Like, how does it look like?
Depends on the volume. For small volumes, LipoDex, customer can do it himself. But for bigger volumes, for example, a data center, it would not be funny to change tens of thousands of cells and ship them to us. In that case, we offer a battery as a service. We monitor on their behalf. We act on their behalf, change the cells. For them, it's smooth. They pay a kind of subscription for changing the cells, and that's it. At the end, it's not their core business to manage the energy. They focus on their core business.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
2 quick questions. One, how does this pack affect the volumetric energy density? It decreases it, so how big is the difference? And 2, how dependent are you on your specific BMS to really detect the state of health of every single cell?
Okay, first, let's say at the end, what we lose in energy density because the pack is not condensed, we gain it in heat dissipation. So the pack almost doesn't need any forced cooling. We scaled it up to 100 kilowatt per hour with only natural cooling. No forced cooling. Second, our BMS is key in our activity. We want to use it for our own product only. And we gave it a little cute nickname, but it's still our own thing in our own product, and it's complete part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2 very quick questions. Who is your target audience, clients, and what is your go-to-market strategy to reach them?
Okay, target audience is stationary energy storage for real estate, residential, commercial, and offices first. We also have all other targets later. The go-to-market will be B2B2C through utilities. Right now, 2 out of the 3 pilots we're running would end up in a commercial agreement with utilities for next year.
Yep, and we are actually running out of time, so there is no time left for the questions.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
Good luck. Raf Remidan. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome the CCO of Lina Energy, Will Taupe. Good luck.
So what are Lina Energy doing? We are commercializing these solid-state sodium batteries for energy storage. They contain no lithium, cobalt, or manganese. Importantly, if you look inside, what we're using is a solid sodium conductive ceramic as our electrolyte. And that's key because Lina's innovation is not the chemistry in here, but it's the combination of a proven sodium chemistry with advancements in ceramics we've developed out of the fuel cell industry, and that's what gives us our cost advantage. And just to be clear, this isn't a button cell in a lab. Last year, we demonstrated our first kilowatt-hour scale systems full of cells with academia and commercial partners. So importantly, for any new battery tech, why is this worth doing at all? So we took a look at all the different revenue streams for energy storage out there, and then we overlaid all the different technology choices against their sweet spot. And what we identified was a gap in the market between lithium-ion providing affordable storage up to around 4 hours, and then more of the novel new technologies like flow batteries really becoming economic beyond 12 hours. And what's relevant about that gap is that it's the kind of duration you need for grid-connected solar, so fortifying and modulating that solar energy, whether it be for small applications like microgrids or larger applications like data centers and green hydrogen. And our strategy is to disrupt on that based on cost, given that we're using abundant raw materials, and feel particularly well defended in this space, given that the majority of these solar growth markets around the world are experiencing really high temperatures, which are prohibiting the deployment of those incumbent techs like lithium-ion or temperature-sensitive flow batteries. And just to be, for example, we have commercial traction with those beachhead customers in microgrid and doing a lot of work out in India, a key growth market for us. And so how do we deliver on all that opportunity, of course? It starts with the team. We have 30 people working for us out of Lancaster in the northwest of the UK. But also, as with any battery company, how are we going to scale this? So we are using manufacturing methods which are new to the battery industry, but be proven in other sectors. And our strategy is to leverage that existing know-how, infrastructure, and experience out there to scale our own business capital efficiently. And you can see a couple of examples here of who we've been working with to validate that approach. And so finally, it all comes down to the money. We are raised so far 12 million euros via our seed rounds and a little bit of grant money, as you can see as well. And we're in the process now of raising our Series A, which is a 17 million euro round, and that will go towards scaling our business as well as ensuring our tech is the most disruptive it can be in that lane we've chosen. So happy to answer any questions.
Great pitch, thank you. So what's the expected life cycle of these batteries? How long do you expect them to last?
Yeah, so we've narrowed in on energy storage, and I mentioned the chemistry isn't our core innovation. We've chosen the chemistry we have, a nice sodium metal chloride chemistry, given that its long duration, its longevity. So it's zero side reactions and proven at 4,500 cycles down to an 80% state of health. People back in the day hasn't pushed it further, but it's a linear degradation, so we'll see over time if we can push that further. But that was one of the key reasons we chose that nice stable chemistry.
One of the big questions with solid state is the application of pressure for other lithium-ion solid-state batteries. So how does that look like for yours?
Yeah, all the cell testing we've done, there's not an applied pressure when we seal the cell or anything like that. So we're not applying a pressure to create that interface. We use a semi-solid electrolyte, so we have a liquid interface between the ceramic and the cathode.
Great pitch, thank you. So do I understand you're going to go for own production of the cells? Is that the business model?
So we have to...
And if so, why did you choose that model and not go for licensing, for instance?
Yeah, so no, it's not our strategy. I guess our strategy is we have to demonstrate our systems because it's a new tech, right? And so we have to de-risk that for any partners down the line. our core strength is in the electrolyte. So as we scale and as we validate and de-risk the manufacturing process at a pilot scale, we'll step into an electrolyte manufacturing role, so we can just churn out lots of these layers and hand that off. And we've demonstrated, it's really convenient for me to say that to a room that knows how expensive it is to scale battery tech. So we've gone out and validated that in the market. So we had a logo of Koenig Metall. They are a German tier 1 automotive parts manufacturer. They've taken a look through our manufacturing steps, done the feasibility work to identify what's compatible, and they also agree, yes, we can stay in our lane and focus on the electrolyte, and they can do everything, including the electrode and cell assembly. Because anyway, a lot to chat about why that works, but long term, we want to stay in our lane.
Will Taupe, thank you very much. There is no time for questions. Thank you. Give a big applause for Will. Now is the time for the last presentation of this truck. Please welcome the co-founder, tech and product of Refilla. Pietro Balda is with us. Good luck.
Green one, right?
Pardon?
Green one,
yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pietro from Refilla, and I want to talk about one of the unresolved challenges of the electrification right now. So what are we going to do about all the end-of-life batteries that we're going to get in a few years from now, coming from all the trucks, vans, and cars? What's the best way to make a fully sustainable and circular industrial process in order to handle them? What we do at Refilla is basically we take them and we give them a new life, a second life. We repurpose the batteries and we put them into what is a mobile energy storage and a portable charger for cars. Basically, this one that you see right now is the most powerful and most energy-dense portable charger in the market within this weight and dimension. We use it in order to make EV charging easier because we basically take the old batteries in order to charge the new ones. We provide a charging service on location that is not alternative to the fixed infrastructure, but it's complementary for a very specific use case and situation. Basically, our business model is divided in two. One is the recharge service that we provide for business fleets, for car sharings, and in a B2B2C approach. For a subscription fee, while we also rent our device for a specific situation, for example, for temporary parking space during the events, or for a location that is where it's very difficult to electrify, for example, for the car compounds. But this is just the beginning, because this will be first of our future product portfolio roadmap. We know that the second life will be a pillar of the energy demand of the future, and we want to use it along all the scale of our product roadmap. So starting from the robotization of our Philly, that was going to be autonomous for the parking space, for example, but also a portable device for personal use, and some larger device solutions for home, condos, and off-grid requirements. I'm Pietro. With Marco and Gabriele, we are the founders of Refilla. We have more than 30 years experience in the automotive sector. We have a great team that is supporting us, and also a strong set of an advisory board that is helping us along the way. Some achievements that we've received so far: we founded the company in 2021. We raised 1 million pre-seed last year from some investors that you see here. We have more than 7 business partners right now, and more than 100K revenue so far. You see some of the players there that is really helping us along the way. Lastly, we have just opened a seed round of 4 million euros, so if you want to help us or know more about that, just get in touch with me. There's my email, and I'm now ready for questions.
Thanks a lot. So with this portable battery pack, 2 questions related to it. So first of all, what's the weight? And second of all, what's the capacity of it?
The one that you see in the slides, this is what we do right now, is a bit more than 100 kilograms, and it's 35 kilowatt of power and 20 kilowatt hours of capacity. So, but it's a modular, so you can use it to charge it with more than one. And we are thinking of the smaller in order to make it more portable for personal use, that's what I said.
Hi, great pitch. Given I live in London and can't afford a drive, the portability aspect of this is quite exciting. What's more important to you, secondary use or portability as a company?
That's a really nice question. Of course, we're going to go for the second life approach for the batteries because it makes much sense, also in order to decrease the cost of the product itself. But we want to keep the modularity and the portability as key aspect of our product. That's what other competitors are not doing in other countries that you might refer to.
I imagine the last mile sort of delivery of the product is quite expensive. So how would you compete and price compared to like public charging points?
Actually, we don't do the last mile delivery as that, so operation is not internal, but we work with the local logistics operators that are doing any other kind of delivery, for example, the grocery delivery, and so we don't burden the cost of that, and we are really it's better to scale up because in every city, in every market, you have different operators you're working with, so we just give them the assets and of our software that I didn't mention today, but there's a huge part of that in order to operate our business model.
We have just 10 seconds, so let's make it briefly.
Anti-theft.
Anti-theft, yeah, that's a typical question. You cannot steal it while it's charging from the car. It's the car is plugged and it's geolocalized. It's IoT monitored. So yeah, we are haven't happened so far. Maybe it will happen some days in the future. Who knows?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pietro Baldo. Thank you very much for all the contestants. Thank you, dear jury, for listening all the presentations. Now it's your time to vote, and we will inform all the participants about the result of the voting in a few hours.